Hi, my name's Keira, and we've lived in this house for 20 years now this fall. We moved from Seattle, and we really enjoyed this house because it had a garage, which in Berkeley was really rare. It has a big flat backyard, and the previous owners had opened up the floor plan. It's a 100-year-old house, but they had done a partial update in 2001. Come on in, let's take a look. So over the years, we tried to make repairs or improvements that were both community and eco-conscious. For example, in 2007, we installed solar panels when we heard there were rebates for working with solar companies to do that. We try to make decisions in our lifestyle to conserve or minimize our use of energy. Living in the flats, we ride our bikes around Berkeley, and we ride bikes in BART to commute. And then when we make changes to the house, we try to learn what the newest things are for conservation. So as part of our remodel in 2018, we replaced all of our canned lights and other fixtures with LED. We updated our insulation in the walls, in the roof, and in our basement when we finished the basement. And we also replaced any windows that we were replacing with double pane windows. When we first moved into the house, we were told we would have to reline the fireplace. So instead of doing that at the time, we also decommissioned the fireplace and use it as an aquarium so that we don't add to particulates in our area. So one other thing our architect recommended when we did the remodel in 2018 was to use this more matte floor finish when we refinished the wood floors. These were the original wood floors from this 100-year-old house, and we extended them back into the new part of the kitchen, and we used non-toxic refinish that's a substitute for polyurethane. It's both less toxic and it's a lot easier to repair if you need to refinish only sections of a room, which is really helpful in a room like this. So this is our kitchen that we remodeled again in 2018. We worked with a really great group to build the bamboo cabinets. They're called Ecology, and they're based in Emeryville. They built the cabinets here for the kitchen, as well as our 2 bathrooms upstairs. A company called Plyboom makes all different patterns of this, so it's all laser cut, and it comes in like 4 plywood sheets, basically like a 4x8 foot sheet that you can do whatever you want with. We chose bamboo because it's both indestructible and it's a more green product. They've been super durable, and you can quickly refinish them if you get watermarks or other dings on them. Our architect recommended recycled concrete tiles for the floor. They're also very compatible with radiant floor heat. That has helped immensely with indoor allergies, seasonal allergies, and makes for a really even, comfortable heat in the house. When we did the remodel in 2018, we had a dual fuel stove, a gas top and an electric oven. This is an induction range that we just had installed, and we've been using it for about a month and really like it. When we first moved in, they had remodeled the kitchen. The ceiling was flat, and the entire middle of the kitchen above this 36-inch range was a vent that went up through the roof, and it sounded like an airplane taking off. So one of the things that was really nice about remodeling the kitchen was being able to take that vent out and install this backdraft vent that goes away when you're not using it and really frees up the visual space in the kitchen, but works to vent food odors and other things out through the floor. So one of the things our architect tried to do in 2018 was take advantage of passive solar to keep this main floor warm. We also, because it's south-facing, do get a lot of sun in the summer, so we installed shades over these windows that use recycled materials from banners at the Moscone Center that our architect had in his basement. In the bathroom, we have more of the passive solar with a solar tube that lets light into this darker north side of the house. We also installed low flow fixtures. We flush the toilets with water that we collect on the roof, so rainwater. And then the water that comes from the sink goes out to the yard through a greywater system. So we'll take a look at that system outside. So this is the side of our house. This is our solar system, which is, again, from 2007, so it's pretty old, but it's still chugging along. And then this is where we collect rainwater from the roof, and it takes it underground to the holding tanks in the back, which we'll show you. So our rainwater system gathers water from both sides of the roof. We saw the south side over there, and then the north side is collected through this pipe, and it comes up into these two 1,200-gallon tanks. The water then is pumped out through the pipes at the top, goes through this filter, and then goes into the house to flush toilets and do laundry. So we wash our clothes using the rainwater from the tanks. This allows you to not only use the rainwater when your yard is dry, so that would basically be gathering it through the wet season and then using it during the dry season. It allows you to use the water all throughout the winter when you're getting repeated refills. And so it lets you kind of maximize the volume that you can store over a longer period of time. So earlier we saw the showers and sinks upstairs. The water from those, the gray water from those, comes out to this receptacle and then gets pumped out to this north side of the yard. And then along this side of the yard is where the sinks and shower irrigate, and this side of the yard is where the laundry irrigates from the gray water system. When we first moved in, there was weeds and a couple of trees along the side, so it was sort of a blank slate, and we really focused on food production and kids over the years. So we planted a lot of different types of fruit trees along the edges and used Ann Ralph's grow a little fruit tree method of keeping them small enough to harvest. We have garden beds and then edibles kind of punctuated throughout. Our other plantings we try to make butterfly or hummingbird friendly. So for food waste and yard waste, we have a compost bin. We also have a worm bin for just the food scraps, and then some things go to the chickens. You'll notice in a few places we have things built out of what's called these steel skeletons, so it's sort of the leftovers, the waste product after they make something at a steel yard. We built this arch out of 4 by 8 foot pieces of the steel skeleton and a privacy screen up on our deck. There's also a couple of little trellises around the yard where we attached it to C-channels and used it as trellis. So we use our rainwater to wash our laundry, and you can see at the back of the laundry closet there's a valve. We can choose whether that water then goes out to the gray water system that irrigates the south side of the yard, or if we want to use soaps or bleach that we don't want going to the yard, we can turn the valve and have it drain to the sewer. So we had a lot of solid concrete paths coming up and around up to the front door and then along the side of the house, as well as the driveway. And as we needed to make repairs or replace them over time, we made sure we replaced them with DG or permeable pavers to allow rainwater to permeate into the earth rather than running off into the street. Thank you for visiting my house. We have appreciated learning from other people over time, the kinds of things they've done, so I hope we had some ideas that might be helpful to you. Don't be afraid to ask questions and stay curious about what's out there.